Hey guys, Bryson Taylor here. Welcome back to the channel. I've got a super fun video planned for you guys today. Fingerstyle guitarists especially should really love this one. So let's dive into it and let's get started. Now if you guys clicked on this video thinking it had anything to do with the band Nickelback, let me go ahead and stop you right there. This video has absolutely nothing to do with Nickelback. I have no hate towards Nickelback. I grew up singing Rockstar in middle school just like everybody else, but the video actually pertains to a tuning that I want to teach you guys today that I have dubbed the Nickelback tuning. So this video has nothing to do with Nickelback. I don't know how Chad Kroeger or any of the members of Nickelback tune their guitars. This isn't a deep dive or a secret video of I know something about Nickelback that you don't. This is just a fun video to learn this new awesome tuning that I want to teach you guys. So small disclaimer before we get started. Now like I said, this video is not a diss at Nickelback by any means. I don't have any beef with the band whatsoever. Like I said, I grew up singing a bunch of their songs as a kid. They were really popular early 2000s. They still are. I think they still tour. They got a bunch of good songs out. But one of the things that has always been said about Nickelback by the Nickelback haters is that Nickelback never changes their chord progressions. They use the same chords, same progressions for a lot of their songs. And that's why they get a lot of hate. That's why there's a lot of Nickelback hate out there. So I thought it would be kind of funny as a pun to name this tuning after the band just because, well, you'll see. Okay, so let me teach you the actual Nickelback tuning as I call it real quick. That way we can all get on the same page. So the Nickelback tuning, it's going to be E and A standard. You're going to tune your D string down to a C sharp. You're going to tune your G string down to another E. And you're going to leave your B and E string alone. And that's it. All you got to do is change two strings. Super, super easy. And it sounds really pretty open. I named this the Nickelback tuning because going back to why Nickelback gets a lot of hate, everybody thinks they use the same chord progressions. Now, to a degree, Nickelback does use a lot of the same chord progressions, but so does every other pop rock group ever in existence. They use a lot of the same chords. But one of the chord progressions that, in my head, when I think of Nickelback, or I hear Nickelback, I think of a 1, 5, minor 6, 4 sequence. So they do a 1 chord, a 5 chord, a minor 6 chord, and then a 4 chord. So it would sound like this. Now I'm sure in your head you can hear 1,000 different songs that use that chord progression. It's very, very popular, not just in pop rock or rock in general, but a lot of pop music, just all kinds of genres use that. Pop country uses that. It's a very, very idolized chord progression. It's kind of an industry standard chord progression just because it's catchy, it's easy to follow, so a lot of bands and artists use that progression. However, the reason that I named this the Nickelback tuning is because the way we analyze our strings on this. So like I said, we already went over the tuning, but let's analyze what our chords are. So we have 3 E strings, and this tuning assumes that we're in the key of E major. So we have 3 E strings. Both of our E strings are still E strings, and then our G string, which is normally a G, is now an E, which is our 1. Now we also have a 4, which is our A string, which is standard. E to A is a 4. We have a C sharp, which from going E to C sharp is a 6. And we have 1 B string, which is the normal B string, and that's our 5. Now the way I like to think about this tuning is my top thick strings, my E, A, and D, I like to think of them as my chord and bass strings, if you will. And then my bottom 3 strings, my G, B, and high E, I like to think of as my melody strings that I'll use to play the melody. But like I was saying, Nickelback, they use the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 4 a lot in their music. So why do we call this the Nickelback tuning? Because you can use all those chords very, very easily in this tuning without a lot of effort. So say we wanted to play a 1 chord, we could just hit our E string. If we wanted to switch to our 4 chord, we could play the A string. If I wanted to do a 6 minor chord, I could hit my C sharp. And if I needed to do the 5, all you got to do is go A sharp, B flat, and then to a B right here on 2nd fret on the A, and you've got your 5 chord. Now there's a lot of different sequences, like I said, you can arrange those in, but if I want to play a melody up here on my top 3 strings and change my bass notes and my chords over here, it's very easy because 3 of my chords out of those 4 chords are open strings so that I can idolize. And when you play it with the other 3 strings, the 2 E's and the B, it gives you a nice, really pretty suspended sound. So I'm going to play a song that I made. It's called Genesis. It's on my YouTube channel. I've got a couple songs in this tuning that I'll post a link to so you can hear what this tuning sounds like when you put a little music into it, a little thought into it, for you guys to see. But I'll play this song and I'll show you and I'll highlight the chord changes within the song just by hitting the bass strings. That way you guys can hear it. But with all the bass strings I hit, you guys could hear the chord changes. You could hear the 1 chord, the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, then the 4 chord, then the 5 chord, back to the 4 chord, and then I go to the 6 chord up here while playing a melody on my top 3 strings. But I'm hitting my bass C sharp, so it kind of highlights that C sharp chord in the background while I play my melody. And then I go to the 4 chord. And then I go back to my 1, which is an E, and then to my 5. So that little part of that song right there, it's a 6 minor to 4 to 1 to 5. So it sounds like this. So basically I'm playing C sharp minor to my A chord, to my E, to my B, which again is a 6 minor to the 4 to the 1 to the 5. Now for this lesson I'm going to assume that you know what the chord structures are for the E major scale, and that you know what a 1, a 4, a 5, a 6 minor chord and all that fun stuff is. I'm going to assume you know that for this lesson. But that's the cool part of this tuning, is you can be very lazy and just play really pretty melodies on your top 3 strings while doing your bass and chord strings on the lower 3 strings and just create some really beautiful music. So something I was playing with earlier today, it's not a song or anything that I've made or put on YouTube, but just something I was fiddling around with earlier that sounds really cool. I was playing this. Which is just an A to a B to an A. But think of all the possibilities. You could change the chords and change the melody lines with that, and you could go to a 6 minor after the B, so I could do. But there's limitless possibilities, and that's the cool part about this tuning, is you don't have to put a lot of effort in. Everything already kind of sounds pretty because of the way it's tuned. So let's try. I'm just going to ramble and play something. I don't know what I'm about to play, but I'm just going to kind of fiddle around and see what happens with what I was just playing and kind of see what comes about and what sounds cool. just playing around in it, you can cycle between the 1, the 4, the 5, and that minor 6 chord very easily with your bass strings, and just highlight any kind of melody that you want on your top 3 strings, and it sounds really, really beautiful. So just continuing that, you can play all kinds of different stuff. You can do, you know, if you want to do some power chord oriented stuff and get your bottom 3 strings in there for a nice suspended sound. It sounds really beautiful as well. There's just all kinds of possibilities with this tuning. But guys, that'll conclude this video. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I really appreciate all the support. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down there. I will definitely try to answer them the best I can. I'm happy to help you guys with this new tuning. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully, if you're stuck in a rut right now, a new tuning is what you need to kind of get out of the box and get out of the standard tuning for a little bit. Just try something fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video of learning the Nickelback tuning, as I call it. But thanks again for watching. If you guys don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you would please subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot. But thank you guys for all the support. I hope you guys have a great day.